plate and how you prepare it there. You try that, and of course, with a 17-year-old, eventually it's like, what? And doesn't want to hear it. But she, here's a gig. Again, next year, she's going to be on her own, going to college, and she's going to figure that out.
Got to make those choices, yeah.
And
Was it that freshman 15?
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
college is where I learned to not drink soft drinks because I could either eat or I could have soft drinks. So which one did I want?
Because of finances or because of like calories?
Oh yeah, just because I was a poor college kid. So
Well, that was a lot of cheap pizza though. I ate a lot of cheap pizza. I ate a lot of sub sandwiches and cheap pizza.
Oh, they would do it was Papa John's was brand new, I think, and they'd come to town and they were doing buy one get one free pizza. So we would just buy a pizza for at night, and then we'd have the other one in the fridge and have it ready for the morning.
Yep. Same.
See, my college thing was that there was a Asian place in town, and the woman there, and God help me, I can't remember her name, and it was partially because her accent was so thick, I really understood about every 14th word she said, but she was so sweet to us because that was when I was studying music, and we would go on weekends and we'd play a jazz performance of quiet music for her people, and we would go every day during the week, and she would feed us. And I mean, it was piles of fried Asian foods, and oh my God, it was just, that was free. And like you, being poor, you did what you could, and when that woman's giving me everything I can, and it's great, and it's homemade, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was definitely a lot of CC's pizza, the all-you-can-eat pizza.
Oh, yeah.
For me, particularly even right after college when I was still kind of broke. CC's pizza and Chinese buffets, and it was right around the time that I want to say Golden Corral started to switch to a buffet style as well, because we'd go to Golden Corral before it got super nasty, when it was still kind of like a half hybrid between, a burger steak joint and a buffet, but you can still get the buffet. Luby. Oh, did you see the Luby's closed?
Yeah, no more Luby's.
Yeah, Luby's.
Really?
They didn't just sell; they liquidated.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're gone.
Related to struggling before the pandemic and now not being able to come out of the pandemic, and they just decided not to even sell. They're just like, buy, liquidate, we're done. That was just like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's also like, oh my God, what's the Chuck E. Cheese? Even though I haven't been there since my kid was little bitty, and I had to take her to a birthday party, but they're by and large shutting down too because of the pandemic, because no one's going there, and they've just. The one here in my town shut down, and then you're starting to see them shut down. I read the other day that they're all but completely collapsing.
Well, the business. We switched from dad bods talking about the restaurant industry. I mean, can you imagine even when if you have a situation where you're able to do everything within reason, and you have your tables blocked off, you're still paying a ridiculous amount of rent. Right. You're still paying for food. You're still paying for staff, electricity, all
insurance.
That stuff. And at most, you can have 25% capacity, 50% capacity. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could do your patio, and that's what people are willing to take risks. And a lot of people that just didn't return back to eating out. Like Chris and I don't eat out practically at all anymore, which maybe is making some people lose weight during the pandemic because they're not eating out as much.
Yeah. Are you cooking at home more, or are you bringing stuff in from out? Are you bringing Mario's home?
We're eating home more than we were. I mean, this, Sean, we'd go to Mario's.
Yep.
And we'd sit at, and Todd, this too, we'd sit at the bar, we'd have some cocktails and have nachos. That was at least a once a week, maybe even a twice a week thing. And it's not even every other week now. We've done some carryout a couple times. We'll ship back to Mario's. Damn it.
I know.
We have a place.
And they just moved. I mean, that can't be good into I'm assuming a more expensive spot.
A more expensive spot and a more crowded spot. It's on Cedar Springs in the neighborhood with more people,
really?
So you never know. Yeah.
I didn't know they moved.
They moved to where Trinity Groves, Trinity Groves was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right in the bottom corner of the Loon. So...
Well, we have a place that is near with Abby shoots archery, and where she went for lessons. There was a place called Senior Locos that we would go to simply for the convenience, and it was good. We got to know the owner, much like what you're talking about. We went to get to-go stuff, and she's like, I said, how are things going? She said, I don't know how I'm going to survive if people like you don't start coming in more. And I thought, okay, I get why you're guilting me because I was coming regularly. but I don't go to lessons there anymore. We now do lessons in the backyard of the coach so we can be very distanced. It just doesn't work these days, and I hate that. I love that little place, and I want them to survive, but I'm not going to jeopardize my family, put my family at risk, etc. to keep that up.
That right there.
Maybe it's we've talked about the CrossFit gyms being open to a certain extent, but limiting that on people that are in the gyms themselves, keeping everybody distance. They have sign-ups. You can only have X number of people in the gym, and they're every distance. And I guess the athletes are kind of addicted to working out, so it's not like I'm not saying the CrossFit gyms are doing great. They've definitely lost a lot of people, but they're still keeping attendance going. The comic shop, I don't know if it's just because of how retail shopping works and we're not in a mall, we're doing okay. And people are coming in. They're fine coming in one or two at a time in the store.
We're spread out when we're in the store.
Right. It's not like people are on top of each other. You're never going to encounter a crowd. Everybody's good wearing masks. So the store has a different vibe, but it's doing okay. It's not affected like a restaurant might be where you sit down and hang out for 30 minutes, maskless eating food.
How many do you allow in the store at a time?
We're probably I would say, I don't know what the actual occupancy is. They came in and they didn't really tell me. But with 3,000 square feet, at any given time, there's never more than 12 people in the store.
Okay.
And that's including 3 employees potentially?
That's including 3 employees. We've closed the store from people coming in a couple times when there've been 2 families in there and some regular customers. But everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's being distant.
Right.
We've got a guard up on the counter.
Yeah, I was
going to ask also. So do you have someone standing at the door that keeps a survey of how many people are in at once? Or are you making people line up and letting them know when they come in? Or how are you handling that?
No, we haven't. We don't hit the capacity. We don't even come close.
Okay.
And our counters, our register is right by the door. You have a sense of how many people are coming in or in the store at any given time.
Okay.
And again, we only a couple of times we felt like we were getting anywhere near 15 to 20 people and had to not let people come in the store. But with 3,000 square feet, that's a lot of people that could be in there without hitting hitting their moment.
Your store is very spacious. I don't want to say large. It's spacious compared to many comic book stores that I've been to that tend to be those more shotgunny, packed in places.
I had a customer
all over the door.
Yeah.
One of my employees visited one of the other comic shops, and I didn't realize they have very narrow aisles that wouldn't fit a wheelchair. For example, their bookshelves are so close. Yeah, the bookshelves are so close that a wheelchair couldn't go down an aisle by the bookshelves.
Well, what they've
done is they've put arrows. So when you enter the store, you can only walk in certain directions down certain aisles to make sure people don't run into one another. And he was complaining about he wanted to look at something, but he couldn't get to it because somebody was in the aisle. He couldn't get around them without physically touching them to get to what he wanted to look at.
Right.
I had no idea the store was that tight. But yeah, that's a situation where you really can't have too many people in that store at once.
Yeah. I totally respect when people put arrows. I like it. I like when they're doing those things. My problem becomes that I've been guilty of it when I go down an aisle and I'm going the wrong way because I don't think that
you're not used to that.
Yeah, our daily language does not say look down for information of where I can go. I wish that if you're going to do that they'd put signs up by the aisles that say, please note this is this way. Then I could see those things and I note it. I like to be compliant. When somebody asks me to behave a certain way in their establishment, that's the request and I try. But God, I felt like such a shit at sometimes. I look down the arrows the other way, and of course, Abby right beside me, Dad, you're going the wrong way, and I'm like,
well, that's what your children do.
That's what the child is for.
That's their job to antagonize you for doing something wrong.
Your job is to embarrass them.
Except
their job is to be embarrassed by you.
I did quote something wrong. I'm not sure if you guys have heard this. Abby very rarely calls me Dad. It's Todd, and so it would actually be Todd. You're going the wrong way. And which boy
does she really call you by your first name?
She does. I am Todd all the time. She occasionally, if she's trying to make a point, she'll call her Shelly, but most of the time she's Mom. But I am Todd, and I know she wants something. When I hear Dad or Daddy, I'm like, what do you want?
What happened?
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a pretty good discussion. That's 25 minutes in on taking care of
Dad
yourself,
bods
behaving
and
in
restaurants
and all these things. And I think that I can at least say for the three of us, everybody, if you need somebody to talk to, if you're sitting alone during all this garbage, find someone. Reach out to us. I'll talk to you. I'll be. Don't sit alone. Don't feel like this world's beating you down. We can all make it through it. Be kind to each other. Help people.
Sean loves email.
Sean loves it. You know, we haven't said that in forever.
I know. That was a good point. Good place to put that in there.
What is our email? Podcast at Minute of the Apes? Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody. I'm begging you. Send Sean an email and just talk to Sean. This is what you don't know about Sean. We've said he is a media slut. He knows everything about. He's watching it. He's reading it. He'll talk to you about anything. Anything.
Babylon 5, Highlander, anything.
And it's
bodily
not even.
functions.
It's not. Yeah, I was about to say it's bodily functions. It doesn't have to be pop culture. It can be bodily functions. And Sean will talk to you. Somebody email this boy. Anyone, anyway. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back next week with more minutes. I'm Todd, Virgin Sean. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.